This is the Barbados Today afternoon news update for Thursday, February 22nd. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Our top story at this hour: a Christchurch teen will reappear in court today in connection with a murder of Kismark Shaquille Codrington of Browns Avenue, Bayville, St. Michael. 17-year-old Isaiah Abraham Cody Wiggins appeared before Magistrate Christy Coffey Sargent in the District A Magistrates Court yesterday, charged with serious bodily harm. Police say he will now reappear in court on an upgraded charge of murder. Codrington was shot last Friday on Bay Street, St. Michael. He was taken to the QEH where he succumbed to his injuries. The National Union of Public Workers is meeting today to discuss their continued membership in the Umbrella Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados. Barbados Today understands the matter will be tabled at the union's council meeting today, and if approved, the NUPW will no longer be a member of C2SAB. It will be the second major trade union to leave the group since it was launched in 1995. Now, neither Union President Akani McDowell nor General Secretary Roslyn Smith will discuss the proposed move, which would result in the union losing its place in the social partnership. But a source familiar with the developments in the union told Barbados Today the rift stemmed from C2SAB's refusal to support the NUPW's two-day strike in January, which was aimed at pressuring government into meeting the union's pay demands. President of the Association of Public Transport Operators, Maurice Lee, is dismissing a proposal to use coaches to transport school children as an ill-conceived idea. The proposal was put forward by Transport and Works Minister Michael Lashley. As a matter of fact, Lee contends that any immediate plans to fix myriad issues plaguing the state-owned transport board ought not to be taken seriously by stakeholders until the voters have their say at the polls, which are constitutionally due by June.
This shelf life is coming to an end within a matter of 2 weeks or so, and therefore there's not a lot of elbow room that the minister has right now to do what is required to bring things to some degree of normalcy. So therefore, any intention to essentially give transport the attention that it deserves is something that will require the attention of a minister that forms part of a new government that is elected after election is called. Because the things that the minister would want to do would obviously require parliamentary discussion, cabinet discussion, and essentially the time for that is swiftly coming to an end.
Lashley had confirmed that owners of coaches who were willing to assist in moving school children had approached him and his ministry. This is as a result of the acute shortage of buses at the state-owned transport board, which has led to children being stranded at some rural schools for several hours on afternoons or on mornings, unable to get to school on time.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
I'll speak to you in the most expeditiously and bombacious manner. AgroFest 2018 is here, so why are you procrastinating your physiognomies? Go and get your tickets now at all the approved box offices. And listen, the ticket prices have been reduced. Dolly, Dooksy and Dan can be there, so why not you? AgroFest 2018, you farming the future. And as the young people say, AgroFest can be lit, AgroFest can be chopping. AgroFest got me so excellent.
Barbados Today news you can trust.
In news from the region now, church leaders in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are raising concerns about government's approach to the benefits of medical marijuana, and they say their main concern is related to the social impact and the related costs to national well-being and development. The church leaders acknowledge the potential healing powers of marijuana, but they raise concern about the negative social impact. They say there are several compelling arguments which must be examined as the proposal engages national attention and public consumption. Their concerns come on the heels of the government's announcement of plans to establish a marijuana industry. In more regional news now, St. Lucia is reporting a slight improvement in the jobs market last year. We get the details from this report from HTS News Force.
The jobs market in 2017 performed marginally better than 2016, when unemployment averaged 21.3%. There was virtually no change in youth unemployment at 38.5% last year. Jobs were harder to come by during the fourth quarter and traditional holiday shopping period in 2017, as the unemployment rate rose to 23.2% from 21.6% in 2016. Since 2012, the fourth quarter rate has remained stubbornly above 20%. But while Director of Statistics Edwin St. Catherine is hopeful that the downward trend will continue, he is encouraged by the fact that there was an improvement where underemployment is concerned.
Underemployment is defined as persons working less than 35 hours a week, right? And wanting more work, all right? So if we stick with that definition, what we see is that the underemployment rate, which was in 2016 around 8%, has declined to about 5%. All right, so that is indicating that there is an improvement. People are getting a larger quantity of hours of work, even if it's not expressed in the annual figures as a greater number of jobs. All right, so I think it's important to say that.
The improvement wasn't dramatic, says St. Catherine, but he is hopeful that it will improve as time goes by. He says the wholesale and retail sectors continue to underperform, primarily due to the shift towards e-commerce, and there appears to be no scope for improvement.
And finally, the head of the National Rifle Association in the United States lashed out at gun control advocates today, calling them democratic elites who are politicizing the latest mass school shooting in the United States to chip away at the country's constitutionally guaranteed gun rights. NRA Chief Executive Wayne LaPierre delivered a full-throated defense of using guns to stop gun violence, weighing into a long-running political and cultural divide over access to weapons that has been inflamed by last week's shooting at a Florida high school that killed 17 students and staff. More in this Reuters report.
It doesn't make sense. Fix it. Should have been one school shooting, and we should have fixed it.
President Trump hearing powerful and at times gut-wrenching remarks on Wednesday from students and family members of slain children from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and several school shootings that came before it.
I lost a best friend who's practically a brother. And I'm here to use my voice because I know he can't.
And I'm pissed because my daughter I'm not going to see again. She's not here. She's not here. She's in North Lauderdale at whatever it is, King David Cemetery. That's where I go to see my kid now.
The White House listening session coming 1 week after the massacre in Parkland, Florida. Reuters correspondent Andy Sullivan is in Washington.
This was an extraordinarily emotional event, very different from a lot of these White House events, which are often very carefully stage managed. And what you saw coming out of this was Trump embracing an idea that's popular among gun rights groups, and that's putting more guns in the hands of teachers.
The coach had a firearm in his locker when he ran at this guy. That coach was very brave, saved a lot of lives, I suspect. But if he had a firearm, he wouldn't have had to run. He would have shot, and that would have been the end of it. And this would only be, obviously, for people that are very adept at handling a gun.
Needless to say, this is not a popular idea among Democrats, gun control groups, and many members of the education community who say they don't want to be drafted into being armed security guards when what they really want to do is focus on teaching.
School teachers have more than enough responsibilities right now than to have the awesome responsibility of lethal force to take a life.
Trump also vowed to take steps to improve background checks for gun buyers, and on Tuesday directed the Justice Department to quickly complete a proposed rule that would treat bump stocks as machine guns, which could ultimately outlaw them in the U.S.
That's news. Remember, there's more on our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can also tune in to Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.